to be standing here in front of you today and being able to introduce this wonderful team. Now, over the next 10 minutes, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our journey through the MBA, what we plan to do to keep the spirit of our class going after we graduate, and what our motivations are to work with the class, not just today, but in the future. Our plan has 4 main platforms. The first is an extensive social media campaign extending to LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. The second is a one-stop centralized website that will have everything from the alumni contact database to a list of WhatsApp administrators for every major city, photos, the newsletter, links to the Alumni Association website, our Facebook, LinkedIn pages, and so on. You can kind of think of it as a Blackboard, if Blackboard actually worked. We're going to be facilitating lots of face-to-face interactions, and I'll get to that in a second. And importantly, we want to create and maintain, actually, a strong and regular relationship with the Alumni Association and the Alumni Director. Now, how do we do those things? Firstly, our team will have clear regional responsibilities. Every one of us, myself included, will be responsible for a region overlapping with his or her time zones, so that no matter where you are in the world, you always know who your regional representative is. Now, as regional reps, we'll have certain responsibilities. First and foremost, you'll be the first point of contact for students, not just living in that region, but also traveling there. I think possibly even more importantly, it will be your job to interact with local IESE representatives to organize annual dinners and local networking events. So to give you an example, I know every team here has local representatives. We weren't going to announce this until later, so we only have one right now. We have Naoki Morinaga from Japan. We didn't feel we needed to go out and recruit aggressively local representatives before the elections, because we know that IESE students neither want nor need an official title to be willing to help. We're sure that we'll have lots of volunteers, and we'd be willing to welcome anyone who wants to work with the student community going forward. Now, I'm going to get to how we're really different. First and foremost, location. I'll be the only candidate living in Barcelona, let alone Spain or Europe, after the MBA. So through our team, the students will have a direct line to not just IESE, but the Alumni Association. I've secured commitments from 3 former clients at Goldman Sachs, Fidelity Asset Management, and Neptune Investment Management to join a LinkedIn group composed of 2015 graduates and post-job offers there. We have an ongoing initiative to make all course materials available to all students, but don't tell the MBA office. And importantly, we want to leverage our existing relationship with the Alumni Director. I'm one of 2 student council representatives who's in charge of relationships with the Alumni Association. We've had face-to-face meetings, at one of which it emerged that there are openings in the alumni hierarchy that we could fill with 2015 graduates for networking opportunities. We're also we just launched, we're working on an initiative to filter the 1,300 job offers currently available on the Alumni Association website to have a more tailored offering for our class. Now, I've told you a little bit about our plan, and you'll be able to find out more in the presentation that we'll post shortly after this speech. But let me get to a little bit to why we think we deserve your vote. When you look back at the last 2 years, at the largest professional and social events, the events that have really made the MBA, you'll find that every single one was organized by someone from our team. And that's all the way from Doing Good, Doing Well, which is the largest student-run conference in Europe, to Multiculti, Spring Games, Christmas Ball, the Bars of the Week, Bar Crawl, and so on. We have 4 student council members, 14, it turns out, club presidencies. We strongly feel that we've demonstrated our commitment to serve the class here. Now, this is just scratching the surface, but to go a little bit deeper, I'm going to talk about Pedro and Adrian. Now, when you think of them, you probably picture something like this. And it's true, like they're amazing, like fun-loving guys. But here's the thing. Pedro organizes Spring Games. Spring Games brings 900 MBA students from 4 continents to Barcelona for 3 days. He's the president of Sports Club, which is the largest club in IESE. He was one of the main organizers of the Latin American Career Fair that was hosted by London Business School. In the first year, Pedro approached Estrella, we lobbied them and made a compelling case as to why they should sponsor us, and cemented an ongoing relationship that has seen them supply almost 10,000 free beers to our school. Not only that, Not just that, but Pedro generously shares that contact with IESE students so they can organize events of their own. For example, the free beers that will be distributed on the terrace this Thursday. Now, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. This is the IESE basketball team at MBAT last year. Okay? MBAT is the largest NBA sports tournament in the world. 5 people, 5 different uniforms. IESE took over Sports Club. He used the largest sponsorship secured by a IESE student to subsidize over 150 matching sports kits for IESE student athletes. So we always talk about how IESE could do better with branding, could do better with marketing. Well, here's a compelling case of how one student can make a big difference here. 2 months into the MBA, Adrian organized a barbecue for the Movember charity and raised over €1,000 for prostate cancer research. Adrian also believed that the IESE Business Spanish program didn't go far enough, especially for those of us who wanted to master the language. He built a compelling case, he lobbied IESE, and he ultimately got what he wanted. So the school today offers free of charge business Spanish classes that go well beyond the level required to gain a bilingual MBA. Now, this kind of service to the students extends throughout our team, and that's everything from Rea taking hours every week to write the student newsletter, Fabrizio organizing Christmas ball, Dor and Alejandro volunteering to coach the women's football team. Why is this important? Why is this important? Because most of these achievements will never go on CVs. In fact, many of you probably didn't even know that we've done these things. Now, our whole team has been happy to work unrecognized and unrewarded for the benefit of the class. That brings up another point, a question that is important to ask. What is the motivation of the presidents and their teams? What's going to drive their teams to work for the students after we graduate? Now, we feel that our motivation is very clear. Our motivation is the same thing that has driven us to work for the class for the past 2 years. For us, our track record is our motivation. Now, after we graduate, we'll be separated not just by physical distance, but by the requirements of full-time work, family, and friends. Now, in this unique, time-pressured environment, in which time to communicate is hard to come by, an effective team won't be a collection of acquaintances that looks good on paper. It's a team of friends that have experience working together successfully in reality. We're a team and not a collection of individuals. And lastly, you can go and ask any MBA graduate, including the last 2 class presidents. Good intentions and nice promises go out the window once we leave the IESE bubble and the reality of full-time work hits. Our team can credibly say will be the exception. Why? For the last 5 months, I've been working full-time managing a startup here in Barcelona while still running Multiculti together with Doina, 2 section events, and several other things. I've proven that I can combine full-time work with service to the students. In summary, we have a differentiated, unique program that only we can implement. We're the only team that has experience balancing full-time work with service to the students. We've organized the largest professional and social events of the last 2 years, and not just contributed to the spirit of this class, but demonstrated through our actions and not our words how committed we are to serving the students. And lastly, we'd be deeply honored and incredibly proud to represent this class, not just at graduation, but beyond. Now, I'd like to close by maybe trying to put into words what it is that's really driven our team to be standing in front of you here today. Now, as many of you know, for me personally, doing the MBA was not a professional decision, it was a personal decision. But maybe what many people don't know is how much the last 2 years have meant to me and how much each and every single person here has contributed to my life at a time that was actually really difficult before I got here. When you try to explain to family and friends what the MBA is, sometimes it's hard to even know where to start. For the past 2 years, we've shared an experience, a journey. And if it's true that every journey is a person, the spirit of that journey has been the experiences that we've shared together. The spirit has been the 2 a.m. delivery for pizza during the marketing simulation and the short sleeps during long weekends. It's been our memories of every new place we visited together, of the blossoming romances, and the lifelong friendships that have spanned continents and cultures. Thank you.